Yo, what it is, what it do, how we doing, how are you? It's your boy Puro Caballero, aka Mario Caballero.
You know the fucking vibes.
And this is episode number 117 of the Puro Caballero Show. And we doing this live on Twitch at the moment. Give us a follow. Hit the subscription button if you're kind enough. But yeah, give us a follow on Instagram, the Puro Caballero Show. We've been posting a lot of clips with a lot of the guests, funny guests that we've had on the last few episodes. Today is September the 17th. We are one day after Mexican Independence Day, and it is now currently, Latin American Heritage Month? Something like that. It's Latino month in the U.S. It's weird. They give us a half a month and then a half of another month. So we got one full month, I guess. We got till October 15th, I think. So yeah. How we doing? How's it going? It's been a few weeks since we've been back here in the studio to touch bases with you guys. I'm not gonna lie, it was hot as balls here for about like a week and a half in Los Angeles, and it was pretty unbearable to be within the studio. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, thank God the weather has been nice recently. Schedule has been a little dicey for myself, but yeah, we're back and we're doing it now. Late night. I just finished watching the Canelo Alvarez versus Triple G trilogy fight, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Also going to definitely talk about some action in the UFC. 209 representing big time at UFC 279. We'll talk about the crazy, insane upset that happened at UFC 278 as well. But first off, I want to definitely give a big shout out to everybody who's been helping me on the comedy shows recently. Big shout out to Karina Reyes for holding it down at the La Muerte comedy show at the Garage on Motor. That was another fun spot. Thank you. This is the second time being able to do your show. Appreciate it. I got some shows coming up in the future. Next month in October, I'm going to be performing in Ukaipa. That's going to be dope. Thank you, George Ferrito, for that spot. I'll be posting all that information up on my Instagram page as we get closer to the date. I believe that one is like October 15th. But in between then, we got, every other Tuesday we're there. We're doing the comedy show over at Thai Angel Bar in Koreatown. Definitely stop by, take a look at this flyer that we have for this next Tuesday. Check it out. Yes, sir. We got East Los Marquez, Alex Brown, Mala Munoz, Alex Farvar, Brian Blank, and John Kondelik on the show. Should be a very, very entertaining one. If you're in Los Angeles, come on by. 149 Northwestern Avenue. They got amazing food, drinks galore, and we'll have a dope comedy show for you this next Tuesday. All right, so come by on the 20th, and then every other week pretty much we're doing things. Gotta say thank you everybody who showed up and participated in the show that we had a couple weeks ago. It was our 1 year comedy anniversary night there at Thai Angel Bar. We kind of ran it more of like an open mic style, so it was a little bit more, I guess, of a random lineup in that aspect. But we had a fun time, and we enjoyed ourselves. So thank you everybody else who tuned in. We also tried to stream that one live on Twitch. That was a little bit of a test experiment to see how that goes. So yeah, thank you everybody who participated and came by. So yeah, 1 full year strong at Thai Angel Bar in Koreatown. I'm pretty proud of that. I'm happy that we're able to get that much time. That's the longest we've had at any particular venue since we've been running shows. So yeah, give us a follow, Out of Breath Productions on Instagram. We'll be posting up all the new flyers. Working on a couple new places as always. Maybe Chinatown, maybe East LA. I don't know. I'm waiting on some people to get back to me, but hopefully we can get that up and moving. But yeah, give us a follow on Instagram, and we'll be posting all the information on there. So yeah. What else has been going on? I guess since we're talking about the comedy game, we can get right to it. Big shout out to Joe Koy for killing it, absolutely murdering it on this last Netflix comedy special. Holy shit. I believe it's his 4th Netflix special now, live from the Los Angeles Forum. And bro, he had the forum feeling like a comedy club, man. He had everybody in stitches, and I think they did a good job of shooting it and capturing the moment. Like you could see at certain parts where it's like, damn, it feels like it's kind of epic in terms of like how big the crowd is and how legendary that venue is and what have you. And you can just feel that energy. There's like, I don't know if you guys have ever been to the Forum and seen like a concert there, or if you're old enough to have it happen to be able to see the Lakers play there, or maybe the King. I think the Kings played there as well, but maybe not. I don't. In any event, if you've ever seen an event at the Forum, it's there's like that essence there, and I think they did a very good job of capturing that while also not taking away from the performance. Like, and I think the acoustics were really good too, because sometimes when you record a special in like a bigger venue, you only have a certain amount of mics, and that means that you can kind of get drowned out sometimes. Like the laughs when you're there in person, they travel and they spread, but like sometimes, in the special, it doesn't necessarily translate as much. And I think that was one of the issues I probably had with like Tim Dillon's special that came out, because I thought his shit was like pretty hilarious, but I don't know if it like necessarily captured that same amount of excitement and energy from the crowd. So like that's like a pretty difficult thing to capture in the moment. But I think they did a tremendous job. And holy shit, Joe Koy, I think it should be well known by now that like this guy's a fucking murder crazy professional, and that dude is freaking hilarious. He had a couple bits that just had me fucking in stitches, bro. Oh my god. Like I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but like the CPAP joke and that whole section, that whole bit in his, oh my god, dude, fucking dude, it had me. I was sitting here by myself watching it solo, and I was just dying. I could not stop laughing, man. So he absolutely murdered it. Another special that I would recommend to go ahead and check out is Sam Morrill's new special that he had also on Netflix. That one's called Same Time Tomorrow. I thought that one was pretty good. That guy is like a epitome of like a joke writer. Like he just goes for what's funny, and man, his material just makes you like want to like keep working at your shit and just like keep working on that craft, because that dude is like consummate professional. I think he deserves all the love and accolades he's been getting recently. Both him and Norman have been freaking going all over the place, all the podcasts and whatnot, and just killing it in my opinion though. So them two dudes out of New York are definitely on the up and up. There's a lot of other guys as well that they roll with that are hilarious. but yeah, them two. I'm a big fan of their podcast. I need to get a bottle of Bodega Cat from. Shout out to We Might Be Drunk though. So yeah, give that another watch as well. Yeah, he touches on a whole bunch of different shit, so it's pretty crazy there. So yeah, those are some of the new specials that I've been recommending to people. So I'll definitely give them some love. Who else? There was damn. Yeah, I think we got to bring it up. Fortunately, I had to mention that there was that's another special that I gotta watch coming up sometime soon. Comedian David Arnold unfortunately passed away. Yes, he was a producer on Fuller House here. He was someone who taught comedy in LA, and yeah, that happened about a week and a half ago. So that was unfortunate news, and we want to obviously extend our condolences to him and his family. But yeah, he had just released a special on Netflix too, so I was like, damn, that's pretty sad. So definitely got to pay him tribute and watch his stand up sometime soon. Shane Wayne, I know he has a stand up special, on there. I believe it's already on there. Yep, Sweet and Juicy. Oh yeah, so that one was released in August, about a month ago. So there's a couple more specials that I gotta watch. I still gotta watch Cristela Alonso's Middle Classy. That one, seen a few clips from. I'm a fan of her. She's pretty funny, so gotta watch them. do their thing. Just haven't necessarily had the time and the focus. I've been all over the place, folks. It's been it's been a lot. But yeah, I guess that's the news in the comedy game in the moment. There's some other shit happening. There's always political shit happening in the LA comedy scene. Wild shit. There was craziness at a roast battle that happened between some YouTubers. So yeah, I don't really know. I know some people who are there and are affiliated with the show that happened, but like I wasn't there, so I ain't gonna speak on it. So y'all can look up that craziness online if you want to. A few other people have talked about it, so yeah, go talk to them. Go talk to them. They know what's up. So what else? Oh yeah, let's get right into it. Let's get to the fight game. We got to give a recap of the last couple weeks. Let's start in the UFC, man. It's been a pleasure to watch Nate Diaz do his thing as a member of the UFC banner. But I guess currently at this moment, his contract hasn't finally been completed and run its course. There was a lot of craziness leading up to UFC 279 that was happening in Vegas last weekend. And it was almost unprecedented what ended up happening with this card. So initially it was supposed to be the headline fight was Khamzat Chimaev versus Nate Diaz fighting at 170 pounds, right? That was the plan going in there. Believe the second card, what was it supposed to be? It was Kevin Holland was going to fight Derek Rodriguez, and then Li Jianglin was going to fight Tony Ferguson also on that card. So that was supposed to happen. Those are the top 3 fights on that card. Come to find out, Khamzat misses weight by 7.5 pounds. Freaking insane. And so he basically got removed from the main event. But they did some rearranging and they like created another full different card. Basically, they flipped like the matchups between all those 3 previous fights. So now Tony Ferguson was in the main event fighting Nate Diaz with a day's notice, and then the co-main event was Khamzat Chimaev now fighting Derek Holland when Holland is not a wrestler. Known for his wrestling, has been working on it. You know, he's better than he was before, but like Khamzat is a freaking menace when it comes to that. And then it was Derek Rodriguez and Li Jianglin, which props to Li. He was actually the one who had to fight an opponent who was 10 pounds heavier. And it was very game. Very controversial decision that they gave to Derek Rodriguez. I thought it was a pretty even fight, but I can understand why Lee was very, very distraught after the fight, because like I would have been pissed off too, man. It looked like he might have got 2 out of those 3 rounds, but it was very, very close, and you know that's the fight game. That's what happens sometimes. So it's unfortunate to say, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm a big fan of Derek Rodriguez, and like I feel like if he would have been prepared for Lee, he would have had a better performance than what he had. So it's like that part was a little disappointing. But like Lee's very much a game fighter, and he's just a little bit smaller, quicker opponent. So it was difficult for him to time up his power punches and his strikes. So yeah, we'll see what happens with those two moving forward. But yeah, moving forward, then we go into the co-main event, which was like, I guess also supposed to be another 5-round fight, which didn't go that long. It was Khamzat basically ragdolling Derek Holland from the onset. They go to kind of touch gloves, and Khamzat like fakes like he's going to touch it and then shoots on him and takes him down, and then basically held him down for the most part. I want to say Derek got up to his feet for a brief second, and then was taken down and eventually submitted. I can't remember exactly which type of choke he gave him or what type of submission he used, but yeah, he was basically ragdolling him on the ground, and yeah, I think he got the submission under a minute or so, and was just like, just jumped him quick, and as he typically does, and yeah, that was all she wrote for that one. He got booed pretty heavily in the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Obviously, I mean, he's like still the kind of playing the heel, I guess, in that particular matchup with Nate, because he was talking his shit, and yeah, a lot of the fans, I guess, didn't respect the fact that he didn't make weight. Apparently, from his side, he was saying that like the UFC doctors were telling him not to continue to try to continue the cutting weight, I guess, the night before weigh-ins. So I don't know what the fuck's real, but yeah, he didn't make it. So which eventually led to Nate Diaz fighting Tony Ferguson, as we mentioned. That fight was actually pretty entertaining, back and forth. On paper, it was like more of a closer matchup than I think Nate versus Hamzat would have been, because it was kind of like them feeding them to the Sharks for the new up and comer. But they gave him Ferguson instead, the kind of the old veteran who's on a nasty losing streak, and coming off one of the craziest upkick TKO victories I've ever seen. Michael Chandler just actually destroyed his chin, just right here, right up the middle. So yeah, it's not the guy who's like maybe in like the prime of his career, in a good spot. So for Nate, it was more of a, I guess, matchup closer in comparison there. But yeah, Nate eventually, he was landing his strikes, and they were going back and forth doing their thing. Ferguson just kept attacking the lead leg, because Nate's a southpaw, so he was hitting that right leg all night and beating him up, and it looked like it was messing him up by the third round. And there was a couple times he was like, I don't know if he was playing possum or if he was legit like just taking a break for a second. There was one time he was all up on like the side of the cage, he was chilling, he was looking at him, wasn't attacking him, and then would like come back and then just like throw a blow at his face, land him with a straight left. So yeah, Nate just being entertaining and doing his thing. It's kind of crazy because the fourth round begins, and Tony at that point is down at least 2-1, probably 3-0, and his corner kind of gives him some advice. One of the cornermen told him to think about shooting on him, which, if you know Nate Diaz, like, you try to avoid the jiu-jitsu game, because like Nate's not going to initiate that. He's never going to initiate a takedown, but if you yourself are in a bad position and you scramble and you decide to level change on him, he's going to just go for a submission like right away. And that is pretty much exactly what happened to Tony, because it was like almost instantaneously, because it was they're standing up, they're on the feet, and then Tony gets caught a couple times, tries to level change, goes down low, tries to get his legs. Nate recognizes it immediately, and then puts him in a freaking Darce choke, and then what is it? Freaking guillotine, and gets him on the ground, and then just cranks the neck, and eventually gets the victory. And funny enough, he got it at with the 2:09 mark in the fourth, with 2 minutes and 9 seconds left in the round. So like that was pretty apropos. Like the fight gods were definitely sending a message there. But so yeah, Nate was able to end it with the victory, finish out his contract, and now who the fuck knows, man. It's kind of crazy that they rearranged the whole card with like a day to go, man. There was footage of Nate at where was he? He was out partying the night before, like at a freaking Motley Crue concert, hanging out. Was it Motley Crue? Freaking, yeah, I believe it was. I think he was saying what's up to Tommy Lee. I think, yeah, yep, yeah. He said what's up to Tommy Lee backstage. And him and his crew of like 30 people or whatever roll up to the concert, and they were out there till late at night. And Tommy was telling me, he was just like, damn, bro, I didn't know you were getting out here like this late. And he's just like, yeah, dog, I'm a veteran. Like, I already know what to do. It's like, yeah, whoop de whoop. It's all good. Like, we cool. And yeah, apparently there's footage of him watching fight footage of Tony at the concert. Like just figuring it out right there. So, yeah, pretty wild stuff all around for the UFC card there. So yeah, that was the last one, UFC 279. So yeah, what's gonna happen with Nate? I think he's gonna start getting into boxing. I know Jake Paul has called him out, and I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed to seeing him lace up the gloves and duke it out there. The man deserves some paychecks, and he's actually a pretty solid striker in his own right. So I think he could possibly get some victories. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe get a couple fights in, and then possibly return to the UFC later on. Yeah, who knows? Who knows what could happen? But congrats to Nate getting that W. And still being that fan favorite, baby. What else? Dude, the UFC main event that happened prior to that, UFC 278. Bruh, dude. Oh my God. It's been so long since this happened, but like we still gotta talk about it. Leon Edwards with the head kick from hell. Holy shit. That was the greatest head kick knockout in UFC history all time, considering the stakes, considering the situation, considering what was happening prior to that moment in the fight. The way the Salt Lake City elevation was fucking with the fighters' gas tank and their stamina. Like, it looked like Leon was like dead in the waters for like 2.5 rounds prior. He may have won the first round. He got the first takedown against Kamaru Usman that he has ever given up in his UFC career. So that was quite impressive, I will say. I will admit. But like, holy shit. Holy fucking shit. Fucking wild. Yeah, Usman, he was up 3-1 and was coasting, like doing his thing and just like not worrying. And it seemed like he started to open up a little bit in the fifth and was looking a little bit more for the knockout. And so he was like kind of not on his concentration on his game. I don't know. It's hard to say. Because the way Leon landed that kick, it looked like he was setting it up, and like, because there was footage of them drilling that combination where they fake the left and then instead of hitting a low kick, they come up top because they had been faking and then going low, faking, going low, faking, going low, and he faked and then went bam, and then that kick came right up over the top and smacked him right in the face, and it was perfect clean knockout, and it was oh man, I was yelling for like 5 straight minutes after it happened because I was in shock. I was completely just disarray. I couldn't believe it. I was so I was like this, my hands on my head, just like yelling, "What the fuck just happened? What did I just watch, man?" Because that was one of the most intense comebacks ever. From a guy whose nickname is Rocky too. Like there's some edits online of them doing the Rocky music with his cornerman giving him speeches in the corner in between rounds. Oh my God, that shit was epic. As it was happening too, I was like, damn, that the cornerman's really just like, he wasn't even giving him technical advice when they were like listening into him. He was just giving them freaking motivational speeches. And part of me was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, you could just tell him to like what combinations to throw, or like, how to mix it up a little bit. He was just like telling him, just like, stop punking out. I was like, damn, all right. Is this what gonna work? Is that what works in the UK, I guess? He's like, oh man, he was giving him, oh man, it was like some movie shit. I don't know. The way it happened was intense. It was crazy. He's just like, don't let him bully you, son. Don't let him bully you. Oh man, don't let him bully you, son. Oh, I just remember that quote. That was fucking. I just kept saying that over and over. Don't let him bully you. Don't let him bully you, son. Oh my God, that was some epic shit. Jesus Christ, I'm getting emotional thinking about this shit. This happened like 3 weeks ago. Like, God damn it, man. Oh, fuck, man. So yeah, Leon Rocky Edwards is currently champion at 185 pounds in the UFC. Took the belt on over back to Birmingham, to the UK. So congrats to him. Congrats to his team. Man, if you haven't seen the highlights already, go watch that. That shit was fucking unreal. It was unreal. All right, what else happened? We got some other UFC news. All right, Carla Esparza looks like she's gonna have a title fight against Zhang Wei Li at UFC 281 on November 12th at MSG. That should be nice. Nice to watch. Forgot to mention. Kamaru, man, so close, so close to setting the record for most UFC wins in a row. At 16, would have tied the record with Anderson Silva. Damn, 57 seconds left in the round. That was crazy. Oh, forgot to mention too. What else happened? Luke Rockhold had a crazy fight there with Paulo Costa. He got gassed, but it was still saying "fuck you" and just throwing bombs and shit. He was like "fuck you, bitch," and connected on him. But that was fucking epic to watch. What else? Merab Dvalishvili. He beat Jose Aldo by unanimous decision, and I don't remember what else happened. Yeah. Rocky, I think he's gonna get a rematch with Kamaru, and they said that maybe it was gonna happen in Wembley. Bro, that would be fucking crazy. They're gonna be dude. UK goes wild every time there's a fight over there. So if it happens at Wembley, bro, oh my god, that atmosphere would be intense. It would be pretty crazy. Pretty crazy to see if he defends his belt on home turf. We'll see what happens. All right, what else? What else going on? Yeah, since Kamaru lost, Alexander Volkanovski is now currently the pound for pound champion of the UFC, number 1 ranked fighter overall. What else? All right, off the some news outside of the octagon. This is news from July. Stockholm police arrested UFC's Darren Till for a DUI back then in the month of July. He was apparently 3 times the legal limit. So Till, bro, you got to chill. You got to chill, Till. You got to chill. Get you that Uber. Pretty sure they still have Uber over there in Sweden. So yeah. What else? Let's go over into boxing. Start with bare knuckle. Former UFC fighter Mike Perry got a majority decision win in the sudden death overtime round against former Bellator champion Michael Venom Page at Bare Knuckle FC 27. This was on August 20th, a couple weeks ago. Dude, I saw some of the highlights and some of the photos and the interviews afterwards. Dude, they were all torn up, and dude, Platinum Perry is a freaking savage. Dude. Apparently his hands are all broken and all busted up, and he was still out there freaking duking it out. His nose is all jacked up as it usually gets. That guy's he'll take a punch, man. He'll take a punch or 2 or 3 or 4 or 25 or 72 or whatever, man. However long the fight goes, but so yeah, it looked like Venom was the fresher fighter earlier, and it looked like he tired out, and just Perry just kind of came on towards the end. So wild shit overall. Both guys came out guns a-blazing. All right, let's get to boxing with gloves on. A little bit of celebrity news. We got Le'Veon Bell, former NFL running back. He got a knockout over Adrian Peterson last month. Actually, last week, actually, on the 10th. Fucking wild, man. That was some wild shit. Clean ass knockout. And now apparently he's calling out Darren Williams, former point guard for the Utah Jazz, as he's looking for another celebrity fight. We'll see what happens with that. On over to the heavyweights though. Alexander Usyk, he got a rematch victory over Anthony Joshua by split decision. He gets to retain his titles, and now they're talking about possibly fighting the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, who had retired. He's probably coming back out of retirement. That's probably what's gonna happen. But right now they're talking like Fury's possibly gonna be fighting Joshua, and like Joshua coming off those 2 losses, it's like I don't know, man. It like his chances of competing at that level are getting like slimmer and slimmer by the year, by the day. Usyk, this guy looks like he's just a problem to be dealt with for the foreseeable future, man. Because he's like a smaller heavyweight, but like that allows him. He uses his activity and his speed and agility really well, and it looked like he could take the power, handle the power that Joshua was bringing out and dicing out. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Joshua, we keep talking about how he needs to like evolve his style and like learn how to become a more technical fighter, and it just doesn't seem like he's been able to take that next step to where he needs to be in order to get that level of greatness for the heavyweight division. So yeah, 0-2 against Usyk, and it's kind of a weird post-fight interview between him on the broadcast for DAZN. Yes, I guess it's a tough draw for DAZN too, because they just gave Joshua a shit ton of money for the next few years. So we'll see how that develops. We all know those exclusive contracts and all that stuff can get a little dicey when some of these guys go on losing streaks. It's like, man, like I'm pretty sure they put enough clauses in there where it's like, all right, if you're fucking up, we can kind of like maybe not pay you what we're supposed to, or you have an opt-out clause or what have you. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, apparently Usyk, he's not gonna fight for the rest of the year. So that means that will kind of lead the way for Fury to step in. But I don't know, Fury Joshua, I don't know. They're talking about December 3rd, possibly taking place at Principality Stadium in Cardiff, Wales. It was apparently going to be announced sometime soon, but the Queen of England passed away, so there's they put a little timeout, put it on pause. So no announcement or any news has been released recently. So we'll see what happens there. But apparently they were gonna agree to a 40-60 purse split. So 60% goes on over to Fury. So see if what happens there. More heavyweight news. Proud to say that Andy Ruiz beat Luis Ortiz by unanimous decision in a heavyweight showdown. He did get 3 knockdowns in that fight, which was nice to see. Ortiz is a game fighter. He's an older veteran, but like, man, that dude, he's he's a crafty, wily dude. He's comes from that Cuban boxing lineage, so like he's not gonna go down easy. And yeah, it looked like Ruiz was able to connect a lot more, had a bigger percentage of the power punches in that fight. So congrats on Andy. Hopefully he can get on another little hot streak and keep going that way. That would be dope. That would be dope to see. All right, let's move on over to lighter weights. Let's go back to 168. Middleweight champion of the world, Canelo Alvarez, beats Gennady Golovkin once again by unanimous decision in the trilogy fight. That is the fight that happened tonight on the 17th of September. I don't know what else there's to say here. It looked like Canelo was dominating the fight throughout the first half of it up until maybe the 7th round. And then Triple G started coming back to life. Golovkin started showing his willingness to mix it up a little bit more and land some more power punches, throw some of those jabs, double, triple jabs at Canelo. And instead of just necessarily just taking and receiving punishment and not being willing to kind of fire back. So he kind of opened up and he made it an interesting fight towards the end. Both guys were able to land some shots, land a couple hooks. But it looked like Canelo was in control of the fight for the most part. He jumped him at the beginning, and I think that, I don't know, Golovkin now is 40 years old, so he doesn't have that gas tank that he used to have. So it's like, who knows what ultimately was the effect. But Canelo coming off of the only defeat of, or second defeat of his career, excuse me, lost to Mayweather, but then lost to Dimitri Bivol in his last go around. And there's a lot of talk about his diet because he said that he was vegan and didn't come out with that same amount of energy level and tenacity, the same amount of power that we're kind of known or used to seeing from him. So it looked like he kind of returned a bit to that. It looked like he was kind of seeking that knockout a bit. And I don't know. I don't know if he gassed out or if he just didn't have as much down the stretch, but it looked like he still was doing damage to Golovkin, man. So Triple G had a pretty beat up face towards the end of the fight, and even when he was losing a round or two here and there, but the scorecards were pretty interesting because there was 2 scorecards that had it Canelo winning by only 1 single round. So it's like, what the hell was going on there? That was pretty strange, pretty interesting. So what's happening next? I don't know. I don't know who he's gonna fight. Is he gonna fight Bivol again? I know Bivol's got a fight scheduled. He's gonna defend his WBA light heavyweight title against Gilberto Ramirez on November 5th in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates. So yeah, is he just gonna wait for Bivol to see what happens there, and then maybe fight him at the beginning of the year next year? Who knows? We'll see. We shall see what's gonna happen. All right, let's go down to the lower weight classes. We got Vasily Lomachenko and Jermaine Ortiz. They're going to agree to a deal for a lightweight fight this fall, October 29th at the Hulu Theater in MSG in New York City. So, yeah, Loma getting back into the ring, mixing it up. We'll see what happens there. We got Naoya Inoue, ESPN's number 2 pound-for-pound boxer. He's going to have a title bout with Paul Butler for his WBO title. He's looking to unify the 118-pound division for the first time in almost 50 years. He's got the WBA, WBC, and the IBF belt, so he just needs that WBO there from Butler. So see if he can get it. Devin Haney and George Kambosos, that should be a freaking firefight. That rematch is going to be announced. Looks like it's going to be October 15th next month at where are we fighting? Where are they fighting? In Australia. They're going to fight in Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne. So yeah, typically see some tennis action going on over there, but now they're gonna be hosting championship boxing events. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I can't remember the last time there was a big event happening in Australia like that. So Kambosos trying to represent for his boys down under, and Haney ain't no joke, man. Obviously, he got the victory against him last time. But Kambosos, I think he wasn't fully healthy. That's what a lot of the times that's what they say. When they lose, everyone's got an excuse and all that. But hopefully this time he doesn't have that out card. And we'll see what happens, man. We'll see if he can just come out and bring that heat there. So, yeah. As I mentioned, Dimitri Bivol's fighting. As we go up to heavyweight again, Deontay Wilder is going to fight Robert Helenius in Brooklyn on October 15th. Let's see what Wilder's got left in his career. If he's got another run at some belts, possibly. Fury decides to give a couple of them up later and stay retired. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. Maybe a Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz fight. Hey, that might not be bad. Or Wilder Joshua. A couple people that were almost there. That might not be a bad idea. Maybe Usyk taking on some of those guys that he hasn't fought yet. So a couple matchups to be made in the heavyweight division. We'll see. Hopefully some of these guys are willing to put it all on the line and actually fight some of the people of top competition. So what will the future hold? Who knows? Tune in to find out. Let's see here. All right, we're talking about it earlier. Talk about Jake Paul fighting. He's actually got another fight scheduled before he could possibly take on Nate Diaz sometime in the future. But he's actually going to be fighting Anderson Silva on October the 29th in Phoenix. It's going to be an 8-round fight, fought at 187 pounds. And this is going to be pretty interesting. We got Jake Paul coming off the knockout victory. Supposed to be fighting a couple different people. Hasim Rahman Jr., he had to pull out of a fight recently, a couple weeks ago. He was supposed to fight Tommy Fury as well, Tyson's younger brother. And that fell through because he had visa issues because apparently that dude's a nut. And I think he's got some assault charges in the UK filed against him, apparently. That's the rumor. That's from what I heard. I don't know what's real and what's not, but that's the word on the street. So yeah, so that fight didn't materialize, but it looks like he's going to be taking on Anderson Silva, and Silva himself, getting into the boxing game, has had a pretty good run so far. Even though he's like an older guy, man, he's beat some decent opponents. Came off of a victory. I think it was over Vitor Belfort. I think he knocked him out. What was I gonna say? Hold on, what's Anderson Silva's fight? Anderson Silva boxing record. Yeah, career record. Who did he fight? Yeah, Tito Ortiz. Oh, Tito Ortiz. I think that was the last one that he fought. Knocked the crap out of him. Yeah, let's go to BoxRec. Why not? He's got 3 wins, 1 knockout. So yeah, he's got 1 loss. He's got 1 loss? Is it unofficial? His debut, Julio Cesar de Jesus won there. He beat Julio Cesar Chavez, and then he knocked out Tito Ortiz, and now he's fighting Jake Paul. So yeah, that's what it is. That's his record right there. Bang. So Jake Paul 5-0. We'll see what happens. Anderson Silva is definitely a game fighter, but man, if Paul gets through Silva, I think that Nate Diaz fight, it'd be pretty enticing. That'd be pretty dicey for him. That would be an interesting matchup. Be a lot of money involved. Both guys get a nice little payout, so that'd be nice for Nate. That would be nice. That would be very nice. 209 get to represent one more time. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Unfortunate news that I gotta mention here. This is something that came across my my news feed. Looks like George Foreman, boxing legend, former heavyweight champion. It looked like he was accused of alleged sexual assault, assaulting 2 minors in the 1970s. There was a lawsuit that was presented against him, so that's the current allegations. We'll see what the court has to say. 1970s was a long time ago, so man, if that is in fact true, man, that's freaking horrible that these acts have gone unpunished for that long. So, I mean, this man, he had himself a second career in boxing after he had retired, and then came back, became heavyweight champion again, and then became a spokesperson and a marketer and all that stuff, selling his grills and all that. But it paints that whole history kind of in a different light if these allegations do come and in fact are true. So that's unfortunate. We'll wait for the courts to kind of determine what the hell is going to happen there. This is such a long time ago. It's like, I don't know. It's weird. Who knows what kind of evidence and what they'll be able to present and what's admissible and what isn't. So I don't know. I ain't no damn lawyer. That's what I do know. Yeah. This shit's dicey. It's always is, and it's tough. It's tough to wrap your mind around. It's just like, damn, man, freaking disappointing. Who knows what the truth is though? So, crazy stuff, man. Kind of in that same realm, we got to kind of transition over to the world of the NFL. Week 1 just took place. But we got some news to lead up into that. First off, we got to announce that Deshaun Watson will be serving an 11-game suspension for his sexual misconduct that occurred while he was a member of the Houston Texans a few years ago, with the whole massage parlors and all that stuff. So keep your dick in your pants, bro. Fucking get yourself a bigger damn towel and all that shit. So yeah, so he's missing the first 11 games of the season for the Cleveland Browns. He did get fined $5 million as well in the settlement that he made with the NFL in the union. So off the field shit, it's affecting on the field stuff. Another player who got caught up in some off the field recklessness, former punter for the Bills, Matt Ariaza, formerly of San Diego State University. He was accused of a gang rape in a civil lawsuit while he was a member of the Aztecs football team. Believe this happened in 2021, and it was something that was apparently known to have occurred on campus between other people, other students there. There was one woman who claimed to have gotten drunk and then was unconscious, and then apparently had some intercourse there with Mr. Ariaza. So that whole news came out during the preseason, and the way the Bills were handling it was kind of questioned a bit, but eventually they did eventually at some point they eventually cut him from the team. So kind of had to cut their losses there. It was unfortunate. He went viral for some crazy long punt that he had in the preseason, and it looked like he was a talented guy, but it looks like he may never get another chance now with this off the field stuff, because he's definitely gonna have to fight to keep his name. And at this point, if you're an NFL team for a punter, it's not something that you really want to take a big swing on. So chances for him to come back, I would say, are probably pretty limited. But who knows? Who knows what the future holds? What's moving on? Let's get into some news about some contracts for the NFL. We got a lot of players signing extensions and signing different raises and whatnot prior to the NFL season. Let's start with the Denver Broncos giving Russell Wilson a 5-year extension, reportedly worth $245 million. That comes with $165 guaranteed and an annual average salary of $49 million. That is second in the league, only behind Aaron Rodgers. So this guy is getting paid to be the number one guy over in the Mile High City. So yeah, they push their chips and they're all in on trying to let Russ cook over there. So we'll see how he handles things going forward. Is he a little older? Is he a little long in the tooth? I tend to think so. I'm also very biased, and I don't want to see that team necessarily succeed. So yeah, that's what's going on over there. Also in the AFC West, we got the LA Chargers are going to make Derwin James a top-paid safety in the NFL with a 4-year, $76.4 million deal, and that comes with $42 million guaranteed. So congratulations to Derwin for getting that money. He also got himself a number change, which is these new NFL numbers, where they're just letting all these players wear whatever. It's like, it's kind of cool, but it's trippy because like we've seen guys in certain numbers for their whole career, and now they're switching it up, and that part takes a minute to kind of go like, oh shit, this guy's number 7, but he's a linebacker. Or like this guy's number 9. He could be like a quarterback, a wideout, a running back, and defensive end, like or corner. You never know. It's so that whole thing is kind of interesting. But yeah, Derwin James didn't change teams, but he changed numbers. He went from 33 to 3. Yeah, I mean, even Dalvin Cook, he's running around wearing number 4 now. Used to be number 33, and I think Alexander Madison changed his number too. It's back up, so it's all over the place. It's all over the place. Back to the deal. So let's see here. Tennessee Titans, they gave running back Derrick Henry $2 million raise for the year. That makes him the highest paid running back in the NFL at $14 million per season. Ezekiel Elliott was the highest, and he was set to earn 12.4. So yeah, so he went from 12 versus 12.4 to now 14 over. So there you go. Let's see. Rob Havenstein from the Rams, left guard. He agreed to a 3-year extension worth $34.5 million with $24.1 million guaranteed. Dawson Knox of the Bills, tight end, very talented player. He's got a 4-year, $53.6 million extension, $31 million guaranteed. And someone that's important to my heart right here, Darren Waller. He signs a new deal with the Raiders, 3 years, $51 million. So congratulations, Darren. You've earned yourself a nice little extension, nice piece of change there. There was some drama involved with the negotiations because previously Waller was a member of the Clutch Sports Agency, which is LeBron James representatives. And he eventually let them go and signed with Drew Rosenhaus and who else? Robert Bailey, I guess, that their collaboration. And yeah, they were able to get him a deal, so they were able to get pen to paper and get this shit squared away. So hopefully he can keep producing for the Silver and Black. I believe he should have had a touchdown in week 1, man. Carr messed up the game. Anyway, moving on. One of the best offensive linemen in the game, Quentin Nelson, signs a deal with the Indianapolis Colts. It's a 4-year extension worth a record $80 million, so $20 million per season, $60 million of that guaranteed. Congratulations there, Quentin Nelson. That man is nasty. He's one of the reasons they have a great run game. And Jonathan Taylor is just eating up yards left and right. Over in Chicago, we had Roquan Smith saying he's going to play out his contract with the Bears. He's, quote-unquote, I'm just going to bet on myself. He was representing himself. He didn't have an agent, and so he was trying to get a contract extension with Chicago, but they were playing hardball with him, so he's just like, all right, screw it. I'm just going to play this out, and then we'll go from there. So we'll see. That man's trying to get his money, man. He had a crazy week 1 performance, which we'll talk about in a second. Let's see. Lamar Jackson, he had his own issues trying to negotiate his contract as well. I think it was him and his mom are dealing with the Baltimore Ravens directly, and they weren't able to get anything done. Apparently, Baltimore had offered him a $250 million deal, which he rejected, which is crazy when you think about it. But if you understand the market of the quarterbacks, it's kind of actually a little under what he should be making, considering that he's an ex-NFL MVP and hell of a talent. And he's like the face of the franchise moving forward. So without Lamar, if you're gonna lose Lamar, you're starting back at square one basically, because like they've built the whole offense around the skill set that he has, and yeah, it would be a big drastic change if somehow, some way, another team is able to pluck him from the Ravens. But that would be a big what if, big what if. So yeah, I think the likelihood is that they'll be able to get something done over the next offseason. It's always another whole thing when you got somebody what was I gonna say? Just negotiating directly without an agent. That's a whole nother thing. What up, Blue Sleeve? How you doing? Yeah, it does look like the Niners are a mess right now. We'll talk about it, man. We'll talk about the Niners, man. They got some controversy going on in the quarterback room right now. They had given the keys to Trey Lance, and we're trying to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo, but there was no takers. So then they were like, all right, screw it. Let's just bring him back for another year. So now Jimmy Garoppolo, he signed to another he restructured 1-year deal. He's going to get $6.5 million of base salary. If he plays a lot and he gets incentives, that can go up to $16 million, but I don't think he's going to get there, if he stays at the Niners at least. So yeah, he's back on the roster. Now there's a chance that he might play at some point in the season because Trey Lance didn't look super promising week 1, but he's a rookie. He was playing in a crazy weather with the rain coming down in Chicago. Like the field was a freaking mess. It looked like they were playing in a slip and slide out there for half the highlights, man. It was intense. But yeah, they we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. So a little bit craziness in the quarterback room. Trey Lance making it rain though. Y'all see that shit in the club, man? Just throwing some ones on some strippers. Did that happen recently? I don't know. The footage came out, so but yeah, that's yeah. We'll see what's going on with the Niners, man. We'll see what's happening. There was a lot of expectations for the team moving into this season, so who knows? Who knows how if George Kittle can be healthy? I know he missed the first week of the season. But they still got some guys. Debo's still there. Brandon Ayuk still there. The running back room, that might be a bit of an issue. They were looking to come to the season pretty strong in that department. They had but they ended up waiving their third round pick from last year, Trey Sermon, who ended up getting claimed by the Eagles. And all reports were that he was looking promising going into the regular season, but no longer. Man's no longer part of the squad, so he never made it there. I want to say they just lost Elijah Mitchell, who was their a rookie last season, another guy they were looking to get a lot of production from, and he has a knee injury, so it looks like now they're down to Jeff Wilson Jr. So, yeah, a lot of question marks for the Niners, man. There was a lot of hope and a lot of optimism for that team moving forward. Yeah, Niners aren't the only ones who've let go of a couple high draft picks. I gotta mention this, man. Very disappointing to see, but the Las Vegas Raiders had to eventually make a move. They let go of last year's first round pick, not a couple years ago. Last season's first round pick, Alex Leatherwood. He did not look good at all. At right guard or right tackle, it was not pretty in the preseason. I mean, even in the preseason, he's not even playing against number ones. He couldn't hold his own. So, yeah, man, he had $7.86 million in dead money owed to him for this season. That's, dude, like, first round draft pick getting cut is like almost unprecedented, man. Yeah, $3.91 million for next year too. Eventually he was claimed off of the waivers by the Bears, but good fucking luck. Y'all can have him. He was, oh man, he was so trash last season, and going into this year, it was man. That was crazy. Let's see here. This is a little bit of a surprising move. The Raiders ended up trading Trayvon Mullen to the Cardinals for a conditional 2023 sixth-round pick. If the man plays 10 or more games, turns into a fifth-rounder. So it's interesting moves. A couple other trades happened in the offseason. Jaguars trade Laviska Shenault to the Panthers for a seventh-round pick in 2023 and a sixth-round pick in 2024. Eagles trade former first-round wide receiver Jalen Reagor to the Vikings for a seventh in 23 and another seventh in 24, or excuse me, a conditional pick. Could be fourth, could be fifth. We don't know. So yeah, Reagor, very disappointing career there with Philadelphia. But Philly also making some other moves though, bringing some guys in. They got C.J. Gardner-Johnson and a seventh round pick in 2025 from the Saints for a fifth in 23 next year, a sixth rounder in 24. And it looks like he's going to play a safety for Philly. So like that's a solid pickup there for the Eagles, man. So Eagles look like they're trying to stake their claim over in the NFC East, as Cowboys might be on the way down. We shall see what happens there. A lot of news going around in the NFC. Let's see here. We had Tom Brady having freaking marital issues, leaving the Bucs for like 2 weeks, a week and a half. He finally came back. Yeah, there's been a whole bunch of tabloid news going between Gisele Bundchen and Tom. Apparently, they're not on the same page right now. Looks like Gisele's upset because she thought Tom was going to finally retire. And he came back and is playing again, so... Is that the end of that relationship? I don't know. Is this fuel for Tom to get another ring? Probably. He's probably using this shit to his advantage there. That's will the Bucs do well this year? I don't know. They're still waiting on Chris Godwin to come back, but they They got a good victory against Dallas the week 1, beat up the Cowboys, and now the Cowboys look like they're in shambles. So yeah, what's gonna happen? I don't know. Oh yeah, there was a story a couple weeks ago. Dana White was on a broadcast with the Gronks on one of their Gronkowski casks or whatever the fuck, or what was it? Some show. And he was telling the story of how he was trying to help Tom Brady come over to the Raiders to play in Vegas, and apparently the Raiders organization said, "Nah, we don't want him because he's too old," and they wanted to keep Derek Carr. And John Gruden was the head coach at the time and the general manager, and so there was reports that Brady had already was looking at houses and had that shit all set up and was ready to go, and the organization said no. So is it Gruden's fault that Brady didn't become a Raider? Most likely, from everything I've seen. But man, that would have been a crazy what if scenario if those moves would have happened. Could they have gotten a Super Bowl? Could they? I don't know. I think it could have been very possible because you would have got like a lot of great players. It would have came with Gronkowski too. Some other guys would have definitely joined the team. Who knows? Tampa wouldn't have had one. Lot of what ifs, man. A lot of what ifs. Freaking Gruden. Yeah, the whole Gruden regime, looking back on it in hindsight, is looking worse and worse by the day, man. Because, oh man, they had so many first round draft picks that they got for trading away Khalil Mack, and they squandered most of them. I mean, Damon Arnett's not on the team, Henry Ruggs not on the team, Alex Leatherwood's not on the team, Cleveland Farrell's almost out of the rotation for playing. It's like, and all these guys were first round draft picks. Like, they got saved by the fact that they found Darren Waller and picked him up off the waivers. They drafted Max Crosby in the second round, and they were able to get Devontae Adams this last offseason. So like, yeah, they've been saved by like a couple different moves there. But yeah, Derek Carr, he's been through a lot in his career, and if he's able to finally get some success at this point, I'm gonna be so happy for him. But who knows? Who the fuck knows, man? He's got his work cut out for him this year once again. Man, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Frustrating shit. Too many what ifs. Let's see what else happened before the season. A couple practice brawls last month. Aaron Donald, that was funny. He got into it with the Bengals. That was fucking hilarious. He was swinging helmets at people and shit like that. I was like, damn, he's ripping helmets off of dudes' heads. Like, that's not the guy you want to get into a scuffle with, man. I think they canceled practice after that happened. Let's see. Rams were dealing with some injuries. Matt Stafford had an elbow issue he was dealing with for most of training camp. Week 1, it looked like he was making all the throws he needed to. So he missed a couple, but I mean, he didn't look too bad. They were playing the Buffalo Bills. I think that might be the Super Bowl favorites for this season. Eventually lost in the opening game of the season. Yeah. See if he can stay healthy the rest of the year. Rams also extended their head coach, Sean McVay, and their GM, Les Snead, through 2026. So it looks like they're going to be sticking together for the foreseeable future. There's a lot of rumors about McVay possibly joining Amazon on their broadcast team. Apparently, they were going to offer him some buku bucks to go ahead and do that. But he's like, nah, man, I'm going to compete. I want to get another Super Bowl or try to keep winning there in LA. All right, some injury news. We're talking about the Cowboys earlier. Tyron Smith, their left tackle, their premium offensive lineman, he is out until at least December with a knee fracture. As a result, they've added Jason Peters, former left tackle with the Philadelphia Eagles, amongst a few other teams. I think he was with the Bears last season. But yeah, that man is still doing it. I want to say he's now like 40 years old, but still ginormous. still a giant of a human being. So we'll see if he'll be able to pick up the offense and get to work there. Yeah, they're missing their quarterback too. I know Dak Prescott, he injured his finger on a throw in that first game against Tampa on that Sunday night. So now he's gone for an extended period of time. Now they got Cooper Rush in there at QB. So things are looking a little dicey in Big D. So we'll find out how that unfolds. More injury news. Tennessee Titans Pro Bowl linebacker held an injury. He suffered a torn ACL and will be missing the season. It looks like crazy incident happened before the year for Washington Commanders running back Brian Robinson. The rookie looked like he was going to get a lot of playing time, a lot of burn for this upcoming season at that running back position. But unfortunately, there was a carjacking that he was a victim of on August the 28th, and he ended up getting shot multiple times in the leg and in the butt. Yeah, he was apparently wrestling with the gun with the guy, and the gun went off bang bang twice and hit him. So he was rushed to the hospital. Eventually, he was okay, but I think the police are identified the assailants. I don't know if they got anybody at this point. I haven't really read into that part of it, but yeah, he's it looks like he's recovering. He was released from the hospital, and looks like now he's actually training with the team. He was put on the PUP list, the PUP list, so he's not going to be able to return until I think week 5 at the earliest. So he's got to miss the first 4 games, but it looks like he's now like practicing on the side and is starting to run a little bit. So like that's pretty crazy, man. Hopefully he's be able to recover, but damn, what a fucking dude. It's like when Paul Pierce got stabbed. Like, damn, man. Freaking overcoming some brutal shit, man, just to get on the field or on the court. So hats off to you, Brian Robinson. Hopefully you have a nice speedy recovery. And that's gotta freaking suck, man. This dude tried to get carjacked on him. Crazy shit. All right. All right, let's talk about week 1. We finally had some week 1 shit happen in the books. We're now an hour and 10 minutes into this podcast, and now we're talking about the shit that just happened. As we tune in and bring you more shows throughout the year, I'm going to try to break this down week by week to see what the fuck is going on. But last week, as we mentioned before, Buffalo Bills, they start their season with a dominant victory over the LA Rams. They looked impressive. They look like the favorites from week 1 on the outset. I mean, they took down the defending champs, and they made them look pretty silly. Like, it was not a competitive game in the second half. And, yeah, the addition of Von Miller on that team is going to be freaking huge. He had 4 sacks on Matthew Stafford, and it was just a menace. Was just wrecking their offensive line, which they had the retirement of why am I blanking on his name? Fuck, dude. God damn it. Rams left tackle retired. What the fuck is his name? Andrew Whitworth. Jesus Christ. Could not think of it. Yeah, Whitworth retired. Freaking, he was like 42 years old. He's like older than the head coach by a few years. And yeah, they need some more help there on the offensive line. Who knows what the fuck's gonna happen there? So yeah, Bills look really good. I think the Rams will still be okay, but they just ran into a buzzsaw week 1. Colts and Texans, surprising tie. Ties hardly ever happen in the NFL, but they almost had like 3 of them week 1. Colts had to make a come from behind rally just to send it in overtime, and then nobody was able to score. So it's a tie. And let's see, Steelers and Bengals, they almost tied as well. Bengals should have won that game. I think like 9 times out of 10, if they replay it, they probably win it. But Joe Burrow, he had 4 interceptions, did not look very, very sharp. They had an injury to their long snapper, so they had a backup long snapper in there. So they were down 6 points in the fourth quarter. They scored a touchdown to Jamar Chase in the last minute, and eventually I think they missed the PAT, or they got the PAT blocked. because the whole routine and everything was all off, and they missed a field goal in overtime as well. Steelers also missed a field goal, but then they got the ball back, and then they eventually hit a game winner with a few minutes left there in overtime. So Steelers got a crazy upset victory. We should have seen it coming as soon as we saw that Mike Tomlin came out and gave the team all black Air Forces. It said, like, we're establishing the fucking, we're establishing the mood for the season. We're coming, and we're coming to with the I don't know. It's fucking late. It's like past midnight now, and I'm losing concentration. Fucking A, man. They're just like, we're coming with that Black Air Forces energy. All right. We're robbing your shit, and we ain't saying sorry. All right. So yeah, that's kind of what they did, man. They came in, they smacked the Bengals around. Their Micah Hyde had a pick six to start the game. First pass of the game. So Steelers defense, they look like they're going to be a problem. The offense, we'll see. We'll see what happens with TJ Watt. He suffered not a torn pec, but he had a not completely torn, but he's going to have surgery on it. So he'll be back later in the season, hopefully in October, they say, but he'll be gone for a minute. They thought that was possibly going to be season-ending injury if you tore completely. That's typically what happens, but for him, the sack leader last year, he's gonna be missing some time, but looks like he'll be back. What else? Another tie almost happened. Panthers Browns. That was the revenge game there for Baker Mayfield. He actually played pretty well, but the Brownies, surprisingly, they got a strong team outside of that quarterback position. I know they got Jacoby Brissett in there right now at the moment as Watson serves a suspension, as we mentioned. But damn, man, like that was a crazy kick to win it though. From I think this guy's Gabe York or something York, kicker for the Cleveland Browns. Man, he hit a 58-yarder, and he looked like he could have hit it from 68, man, because he hit it halfway up the netting, like. Oh my God, like a no doubter. It was freaking crazy. So, yeah, he was able to get that kick off at the end, and they were able to get the win. Their running backs and their running game is still really good, and it looks like their defense was out there. Myles Garrett is still tremendous force as a pass rusher too. So yeah, that's a couple things that's happened there. Raiders lost to the Chargers. Derek Carr had 4 turnovers. He had 3 picks and a lost fumble. I think he had another fumble that got recovered by the team. So it's like he was under duress. I will say Devontae Adams did look very good in his debut. Oh my God, he was crossing up corners and DBs like all day and got a touchdown. Got 17 targets. Only 10. Not only 10 catches. Dude just put in work. Yeah, 10 catches, man. But I will say this: Devontae and the Raiders silver and black. I don't think there's been a player who's looked that cool in that jersey since maybe Charles Woodson was on the team. Because like, man, him rocking that 17, that 1-7 just looks crisp, man. I need to get me one of those jerseys, man. So yeah, I have a friendly wager going on right now with my roommate who's a Minnesota Vikings fan. He's I said, all right, whoever gets more receptions for the year buys the other person dinner. So that's the friendly wager, and we'll see what happens. But Vontae right now, I think, is like, they're both like top 5. So we'll see what happens. Congrats to the Minnesota Vikings. They got a nice victory over Green Bay Packers. They mollywopped them pretty much, man. Yeah, Justin Jefferson, holy shit. He had like 180 receiving yards, a couple touchdowns. That dude was on fire, gritting it up like crazy and everything, all that. But Aaron Rodgers, yeah, he had a rough outing. It looked like his young receivers were not on the same page. Christian Watson, he threw it to him deep on the right sideline, and he was wide open. And completely dropped a pass that would have led to a touchdown or very close. I think AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones are going to be okay, and I think the team will be okay overall. But it was a little bit of a rough start there for Green Bay. Some of their guys on the offensive line are still banged up and weren't out there. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there in the NFC North. But, I mean, Aaron's done this before. He's the back-to-back MVP, so I think he'll find a way to figure it out. He doesn't have Devontae Adams like he's had in years past, so that's going to be a challenge. And Allen Lazard, the guy who was supposed to be his number one wide receiver, didn't make it healthy in time to join the club and all that shit. So for week 1, so we'll see if he comes back week 2. Let's see here. Oh, big upset that happened on Monday Night Football. Gotta mention it. Seattle Seahawks getting the upset over the Denver Broncos. Russell Wilson returning back to Seattle in front of the 12s, acting like the cornball like he is. And I think like the football gods were on the Seahawks side because it was just like a bunch of crazy breaks that were happening for them. Geno played pretty well. I will say that. He made some good throws. But, man, the Seahawks defense, they made a goal line stand after goal line stand after goal line stand after goal line stand. Dude, the Broncos could not figure out what the fuck to do in the red zone because they could not get it in to score. And they had fumbles on the 1-yard line twice. They had another stuffed attempt inside the 5-yard line. And then they had to settle for a field goal as well. So it's like they're leaving points on the board like crazy. And so Seattle able to get it done, man, able to get that first victory of the season. And oof, if Russ doesn't improve or doesn't look as like maybe younger Russ, then the Broncos might be kind of second guessing themselves over that fat contract they gave him, that extension. But this is me being biased as a Raider fan, hoping that's what happens there because the AFC West is no joke, folks. Justin Herbert is ridiculous, man. He didn't even have Keenan Allen most of the game against the Raiders, and he was just still picking them apart. What do they have? DeAndre Carter was in there making plays and shit. Freaking Gerald Everett had a touchdown. And yeah, anyway, I mean, he still has Mike Williams. Mike Williams had a big game on this last Thursday night performance for week 2. But yeah, Herbert's just got to stay healthy. He's day to day with some cracked ribs, fractured ribs, I want to say. So he was getting beat up there by the Chiefs. Chiefs are now 2-0, so they're leading the AFC West as we speak right now. They beat the Cardinals up pretty bad week 1 as well. So it looks like Kansas City's still a force. Chargers are right there, very talented. They've already beat the Raiders. I mean, I think the Raiders have a good enough talent to compete. They need to get a little bit more out of Chandler Jones. Crosby, I think, will still be solid, but the offensive line for the Raiders is the hugest question mark. If Carr is going to be under duress all day, then it's gonna be problems. There's gonna be problems for them. Not gonna have enough time to hit his weapons. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, man. Yeah, and if the Broncos are any good, then that just throws a 4th team into the mix. But I don't know. Javonte Williams seems like he's the best running back, but they're still giving Melvin Gordon a lot of run. Both guys fumbled at the 1, so I mean, you got to give it to somebody, right? Judy seems like he's still a good option there for Russ, but who knows if they'll get back on the same page and up to speed. Let's see what else. There was an injury, big injury for the Seahawks in that game. They lost safety Jamal Adams pretty early. It looks like he's gonna have season-ending quad surgery. He got a pressure up on Russell Wilson and then eventually injured himself on that same play. Let's see here. TJ Watt, he's coming back in October. We mentioned that. Dak Prescott, he's going to need hand surgery. He's going to reportedly miss 6 to 8 weeks. Let's see. Chris Godwin and Donovan Smith, they both suffered injuries also in that game against the Cowboys. Elijah Mitchell for the Niners, I mentioned. He's missing 8 weeks with the sprained MCL that he suffered against the Bears. Raiders cornerback Anthony Averett, he broke his thumb. He's placed on the injured reserve. They signed a veteran quarterback Nikel Roby-Coleman in his place. Let's see. So yeah, those are the latest there. Some off the field news here for the NFL, and then we'll kind of wrap it up a bit. We can talk about next week. We'll talk about NBA. We'll talk about some off the court news there. We'll talk about wrapping up the MLB season next week, as well as some week 2 action, and some other shit. I'm getting tired, so we'll finish this up with a couple other stories here. Fortunate tragic event happened I have to mention here for the world of football. It's involving younger brother of Dawson Knox, who we mentioned signed a new contract with the Bills, tight end. Former Ole Miss and Florida International linebacker Luke Knox, who's his younger brother of Dawson, passed away at the age of 22, August 18th. Very unfortunate news there. We have the Hall of Fame quarterback for the Chiefs, Len Dawson. He passed away at the age of 87 on August the 24th. And he won an AFL championship in 62 and in 66. Played the Packers in Super Bowl I. And in 69, he played the Vikings in Super Bowl IV. So that was before, I think Super Bowl IV was the first one they actually called the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, Len Dawson, definitely a key member of those early seasons there of NFL AFL rivalry. Yeah, it was the last Super Bowl before the merger, I should say. So yeah, that it goes down in the annals of NFL history there. So RIP there to Len Dawson. There's a legendary photo of him smoking a cigarette, smoking a heater in the locker room. If you haven't seen this picture, I recommend that shit. Go check that shit out. But yeah. Let's see. We have Manuel Sanders. He retires after 12 seasons with the Broncos, and with, I think he was most recently with the Bills. He played also with Pittsburgh, and I might be missing another team there. So, won a championship with Denver. The Niners. That's right. He played with the Niners as well. He made it to the Super Bowl with the Niners. So, best of luck on your future endeavors there. In hindsight, what the fuck do I want to say? I don't know. Hey, come out to our comedy show if you're in LA. I'm going to put up the flyer one more time. We'll be out here in Koreatown this Tuesday. 9 p.m., come on by. We got Islos Marquez, Alex Brown, Mala Munoz, Alex Farvar, Brian Blank, and John Kondelik coming to you.
You know the fucking vibes.
We're going to be telling some jokes, telling some ha-has. It's going to be a good time. Come on out. Check us out. Yeah, give us a follow on Instagram, all that shit, all that good stuff. Like, subscribe, follow, all that stuff. Spotify, SoundCloud, freaking Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen, we're there. We're on YouTube, Twitch. Give us all love. Thank you so much, every single one of you who've been a part of this. This has been episode 117 of the Puro Caballero Show, and we're done. I'm tired, and we'll see you next week. All right. Go Raiders. Hopefully they get back on the winning streak against Arizona. Yeah, I'll see y'all later. Deuces.